Alright, so today we're going to be taking a look at Firesworn, and I put together two different versions of the deck. We'll go through the second one first because I feel like it's better than the first one, even though there aren't really many differences with the cards. I think there might have been a replacement for Junior with Morales here. I had a Sewer Raiders thinning package for a bit more consistency. I didn't have the Payday, and I think I had a one-off Disciple. There might be something else. We can have a look at it after, but all in all, very minimal differences, but I think there is a bit more success with this version. However, having said that, I don't think that this is the best time to play Firesworn, and it's unfortunate because it's one of my favorite archetypes in the game. It's relaxing to play, it's fun to play, so many points on the board. It just lacks the control to deal with a lot of what we have going on right now, and I found with the huge amount of matchups for Alumni and Nilfgaard, it was really challenging because they can remove some of our key engines and they can clog our board and stuff like that on the Nilfgaard side. So hopefully this archetype sees a bit more support when they decide to go and mess around with Syndicate a little bit, because I think that it would be refreshing for the game to see more Congregate being played. It's been a very long time since we've had this played on a very competitive level consistently by many people. So that's basically it. We'll get into the deck list here. We have Jacques Miraculous Child. This is a card that we want to play in round 3. So he transforms into Jacques Grandmaster. It has Veil, which is kind of nice, so it can't be locked. And we can get 2 Flaming Rose Footmen on the Tribute. So we get the ability to swarm a bit quicker and fee 1, boost out by 1. So it's nice to kind of put coins into it if we have nothing else to spend with. And then whenever we play a Firesworn card, gain 1 coin. So I like to play it early on in the round because we want to make sure that every single time we're playing a card, pretty much most of the deck is Firesworn, that we're going to be getting a coin from that. And that could really help us complete buybacks with Cirrus, or complete spawns with the Halved or the Disciple, right? There's quite a few things there that can really benefit from having that extra coin, because our leader doesn't really do a lot of coin generation and the deck itself doesn't really surround coins, so whatever we have to spend wisely. Now, moving on to Hamilfart, this is one of my favorite cards that they brought out in 9.6. It's just unfortunate that it doesn't see enough play. Now, Profit 4, deploy, spawn, and play Congregation. Fee 2, destroy an allied Firesworn token, then summon a bronze Firesworn unit from your graveyard to the same position with a cooldown of 1. So we can do this every single turn if we like, which honestly I want to go for my key engines. So even though we'd benefit a bit more from putting down the Fallen Knights first, then playing this card because we have the Congregation here, it's kind of nice to have 2 rounds in the game where we can go super tall and get a lot of points. So I don't mind playing these from hand round 1 and using Ulrich to even make a 3rd potentially, and then just trying to resurrect them all in round 3 or whatever round we decide to try and take it, right? So that's kind of the way that I like to play them most often, but again, you could get more points if you play these first. They live, you play this, then you get the concrete. You see what I mean? It'd be quite a bit of points that way. Ulrich is nice, it's flexible, it's kind of like a double engine here. It creates another engine, so we can use it to make a second Fallen Knight, or we can use it to make a second Cleric if we want. I don't really want to use it on these 2 in the bronze, but we can if we need to. There are 4 targets for it, so it's really hard to brick it unless we just don't pull a bronze, which is why I like to play this in early game, because I feel like if we value this too much and save it for round 3, we might find ourselves going to like a 3 or 4 card round 3 with Ulrich, Desiree, and whatever the case, and we don't have any bronze cards to play it with. So it feels kind of bad in that case. So play it early on. It also has Intimidate, so whenever we play a crime card, it's going to be boosting itself by 1, which is pretty nice. So definitely nice to engine out with the Fallen Knights, because everything has Intimidate there. And Grand Inquisitor Halved is a really effective spender. So Profit 4, Fee 2, spawn a Firesworn Zeal in the row, 2-point token. We can just go and crank the full row full. I don't usually like to play Halved in the same round as playing too many of the Congregations, because then we sort of run out of space. Think about also wanting to save Sacred Flame for later and stuff like that. It's really easy to row clog. So I would probably try and commit the specials a bit earlier on and maybe something like this a bit later if you can. Whoreson Jr., I wanted to go for the Marillis in the other version just because I felt like having that actual removal, no matter what the points are, would be effective. But I felt like Whoreson's just more consistent. So deploy, damage an enemy unit by 6 because we're Devotion, Fee 3, destroy an enemy unit with 3 or less power. So it's like one of our few control options here. It kind of helps out, and you know, like I said, it's a bit more consistent than the Marillis. The Marillis was greeting it a little bit to try and save on the provisions, bringing it down to 9. It's not bad with a ceiling of 8, but the Tribute 6 was a little bit steep, that's all. So this is just no fee. Well, no fee on deploy, right? Easy enough. Vivaldi Bank, because in this case, you know, I think it's really important to be able to get the cards that we're looking for. We don't have a lot in the way of consistency. I find it's a pretty big problem for Syndicate, especially Devotion Syndicate. So being able to profit 3, look at the top card of our deck, plus an additional card for every 1 coin we possess. So we can fetch down as far as we need to fetch down. Hopefully we play this late round 2, early round 3, or whatever the case, so that we have better odds of pulling what we're looking for. I don't usually like to gamble this early on in the game because I find it's a little bit inconsistent. So use it kind of mid to late game. I think that's the best way to go about it here. Desiree, one of our big payoff cards here. It has Echo, so we can play it twice throughout the game. Damage an enemy unit by 3 and boost all allied Firesworn units by 1. Deathblow, boost all allied units instead. So if we have stuff like the Junior, or we have cards like, what else we got here? The Senior and the Cut Up Lackeys on the board, right? We'll be able to get those boosted, even the Furco, if we can hit a death blow. But otherwise, we can just play it on a round or just on something that we can't death blow and just get all the Firesworns boosted at least. So it's pretty good. This card should play for a lot of points, right? We want to get the board filled as much as possible before we play this card for the ultimate payoff, because it's one of the very few payoffs that we have, right? Most of the decks around swarming, this is 1 payoff, this is 2 payoffs. So keep that one in mind. Sacred Flame, speaking of the second payoff here, I really think that this card needs Resilience, because sometimes you play it, they pass on you, you don't get to click it. So Resilience could make the big difference for this. I don't know if it'll save the archetype, but it's a start. So deploy, spawn a Firesworn Zeal on both sides of the card, or to boost all allied Firesworn units by 1. So you can see what I mean here. We're able to get 2 tokens, which are great targets for whether it be the Cirrus or just Board Swarm or just the XCOM or whatever the case. And then we have the ability to boost all units by 1. So a last typical turn of the game could look like us clicking this and clicking and using this and just getting like the full board, you know, painted green basically, +2. So it's quite nuts. And then the Intimidate tag on whatever we have that's an Intimidate engine, because this is a crime card after all. So that's that. Senior is good because it is randomized control. It's good point conversion if we have something that's damaged, and I just think it makes sense in the deck. So Intimidate, right? Whenever we play a crime card, boost out by 1, but then we can flip damage tokens or just regular 2-point tokens into Cut Up Lackeys here. Whenever we play a crime card, damage random enemy unit by 1, bond and increase the damage by 1. So we have 2 of those going off, and we have tons of crime cards. If you look at the crime cards in the deck, we've got 2. We've got the 3 here, 4, 5, 6. You see the thing, right? Like, there's quite a bit. So it gets us payoff. Even if we only get to play 1 or 2 crime cards off of it, it's still fine because we flip the tokens. We have ways to spend our coins and stuff like that. So really good there. Now, Furco, I contemplated taking him out, but I don't think it's the move. We want to have the consistency to play a crime unit from our deck. So, or crime card rather. Yeah, crime card, like a special card. There we go. So yeah, we're going to be pulling into like our Desiree, we're going to be pulling into our Payday, we're going to be pulling into our Congregation mainly. Bloody Good Fun is like a desperate attempt if we just need to take care of something really tall. However, it just helps to be able to get those cards when we need it. More times than not, you're going to be looking for the Desiree, because sometimes it feels bad storing this in hand because you don't know if you're going to get the best option. It's kind of like when you're playing Coup from hand in Nilfgaard and you don't have a lot of setup on the board, right? It's just sometimes nicer to pull into it, because if it doesn't work out, we have the flexibility of grabbing something else. So that's that. XCOM's a really cost-effective way to get some more of our gold cards out of the deck. Banish an allied unit, then play the top card from your deck if the target was a Firesworn. look at the top 3 cards from your deck and play one of them instead. So we can use a damage token, or we can use a 2-power token, or we can use something that's even not Firesworn if we just want to gamble, like a Furco or whatever the case. But more often than not, you're going to be taking a Firesworn so that you can look at the top 3 cards, you can pick your favorite one. If you drew all your golds, then maybe you just go for something that's not Firesworn, right? But being able to get that extra card definitely helps quite a bit. Fallen Knights talked about it. They have Veil, so they can't be locked. They have Intimidate, so whenever we play a crime card, they boost themselves by 1. And whenever we spawn a unit on the battlefield, basically it's going to boost itself by 1 for each spawned unit. So you can imagine 2 coming off this would be a boost by 2. We have the 3 leader charges that would be a boost by 3. Then we have the congregations, right? This would be the 3 off here plus the 1 from the Intimidate. So really good stuff. Off the clerics, we're getting boosts on these. So these can get to like 30 points if left untreated. They get actually pretty nuts. But more than often, you're going to see them answered, especially with muzzles going around right now. It becomes increasingly difficult to run these because best case it comes out at 6. Often Ulrich, they take it anyways, and then we lose the carryover for the Cirrus. That's a bit of a problem that I was having when playing this deck. But when they stick, they work really well. Reminds me of Messengers of the Sea if you're playing like a rain deck, for example. Similar idea. And Payday's up next. Basically damage an enemy unit by 5, gain 1 coin for each excess damage dealt. So this can deal with anything, but more often than not, we're going to be looking to get rid of an engine. That's kind of why it's in the deck, because we need a bit more control than just the 1 card. And we didn't have enough room for 2 Paydays, so I had to go down for the Bloody Good. But I don't mind it, because sometimes we don't have spenders, and we want to go and spend all our coins on something else that we can get rid of that's more than 5 points potentially. So these work quite well. Touched on Cleric briefly. Profit 2, Tribute 2, spawn a Firesworn Zealot in the row. Fee 1, transform a Firesworn Zealot into a Flaming Rose Footman. Again, just a way of getting 6 quick points on the board plus a spender. It'll flip a token that looks like this into a token that looks like this. Keeps it a bit more protected into those control matchups with the 1 armor that it gets. And it only costs 1 coin to do so. So for 1 coin, you're basically getting 1 point plus 1 armor, which is pretty nice. Talked about these. Spawn a couple of Zealots. If you have a unit on the roll already that's a Firesworn unit, you get 3 instead. So make sure that you have something on the roll that has the Firesworn tag before you play this card, otherwise it's not very good. And again, just a bit more profit. Spawn a Footman, get 3 coins. This is Devotion, so we play this card. It works really well here. We get 3 coins in this. So we're getting the net 7 for 4 basically, and setting up our spenders, which is nice. And then just a cost-effective spender, like a mini Helveed. We have the ability here, basically on a cooldown every turn, just spawn a Zealot for 2 coins. So this can make a difference if we have this in a bunch of crimes, but we don't have like a Helveed, or we don't have the right crimes, like we don't have Congregation. At least we have ways to get coin, spend the coin to get the board swarmed and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. We'll touch briefly on the first one just to kind of show you. I'm not going to go through it all again. See, Marilis was here. I did the Raiders, and I did the one-off here instead. I didn't find this deck was much more consistent, if at all, than the other one. And like I said, I felt like the Tribute was a little bit awkward. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my entire play session for today. And again, it wasn't overly successful. You know, I was actually surprised with the results for myself. And so we'll leave it off with a question here. What do you guys think Firesworn needs in order to be competitive? Let me know in the comments below. But for now, let's get into the games, and I'll see you tomorrow with another brand new video. Alright then, so for the first game we got Inspired Zeal, Northern Realms. And I don't know what's worse, if it's Siege or if it's Alumni, right? So we'll have to figure this one out. Can probably put back the Tall Punish for now. I want to play around crimes. Feels kind of important. Can probably tuck that back as well. So we want to go and flip, I think, in this round. And and just try and play around some of the crimes. I think that what we're going to be dealing with here would be alumni just based on the defender on the range row for Letitia, so we got to be kind of mindful of that. Keeps it out of boiling oil range. We can go ahead and try and get down the second one here. And then it's probably going to be something like, okay. There's really nothing we can do about it. So we do get extra damage if I was to maybe put one and take the flip, right? Because then we could play more special cards and get the most value from that sort of thing. So maybe this is so much. Maybe we're supposed to actually just take the tempo route. And there is even maybe a line where we go into taking Vivaldi Bank in this round, look for Furco or Desiree. I think we might have a chance at top decking pretty high. And even then, there is maybe a line where we go for XCOM instead. So it's such a high patience on this, it's just wild. There's not much we can do. I'm trying to go for snipes here, but when Letitia works, it just works, and that makes it that much more important to me to be able to win this round. Like, look at this. Quite a bit. So that puts them ahead by one. They might use to stay ahead. Okay. I think we're okay with that. We've got pretty good reach with just something like that, right? And fortunately they use the students here, so we don't have to worry about them. Okay, there were some commitments here. They'll probably just reset that. It's a lot of points. It kind of feels like one of those matches, though. Where we just have to draw really well, win on even, and just hope that they draw poorly. But, I somehow doubt it. At least they're playing alumni early. We can't stop here, though. We gotta pretty much go all the way. And to me, it makes sense to click this to increase, like, the barrier between... Yeah, so that'll get the pass. It's probably the best we can do. I think we have to bleed out the alumni. If I can pull into something like the Cirrus, we should be okay. It's just a lot of points. I like how we top deck right into what we're looking for. So, Smuggle probably goes back. Jacques really good. We might need this. Halvi would be good as well. I just don't know if XCOM, maybe it's just the play, right? Something tells me that they're going to be firing off, removing these plays here, but I think they would get rid of the Helveed first. They'll use a leader on that for sure. Or not Helveed, but the Hemmelfart, right? Yeah, makes sense. I'd like to believe that's the play. So it's playing for 11 damage. That's the problem. If they can reset this a couple times, we're in like big trouble. But that would have been the second amphibious, right? Maybe we do go for the XCOM? Yeah, I think so. What's going to be the most points, right? I actually don't know if it's going to be Furco. I mean, we could take Furco and go into like a smuggle, which I don't mind. I just don't think we're actually supposed to... Let's see. Okay, Disarray is actually still the most points. I just don't want to use leader yet. That's the problem. Like, we could have gotten more points off of it, but it just doesn't seem worth it. Hopefully it's a low. Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure we're supposed to play here. We'll just take this and try and just cram down points. We'll save leader because they're just going to click that anyways, yeah. So I think the winning line here is to look for Morils. What can we give up though in exchange? Maybe this is a bait. It's not going to get a lot of value, right? There we go. How are we going to get some more coin? We can not take tribute. Well, they don't have Zeal on... Okay, they're going to have to float a card. I think we have to just risk it here. Because they play for 4, we just kill it. Well, there's that. It has to play for 5, right? At least we can get rid of 1, but it's not close enough. Alumni is just too strong. When you can't answer Letitia, it just becomes a problem. So it's by 5 points. And moving on to the next one here, we have another Inspired Zeal matchup. This time's a little bit different because we're going first. So I think Maril waits for later. I don't mind 2 of these, but can go ahead and take the Thin. Maybe this is not good for round 1, and obviously we don't want to break them here, so something like that works alright. I think we just jam these down and kind of just get it over with. We'll find out pretty quick what version they are. Yeah, so I would have to expect the same thing. And I don't know if we could treat it like an immediate threat either. That's the problem. Because if we do that, then that's the only removal we have. And that's kind of the issue. I think we don't like boost. Or sorry, we don't like damage. I don't mind boost. Just click that in case. I need to start getting prepared to leave the round here. Probably something like playing this. Yeah, we just let them climb. At least in this case, they miss Letitia. We'll put this down first to get that. Then we can just go ahead and click this, right? It's a lot of points. We'll take something like this so we don't waste all our coin. Okay, so they do pull. Like, there's really not a lot I can do about this, right? The longer that I play on, the worse it gets for me in late game. So it's almost worth passing at that. Because, you know, we're not really tempoing really aggressively here. I think we just do that. This deck we're playing against feels the same with the Peller, but I actually think the leader avatar was similar. Okay, so the 2 leader charges to stay ahead by 1. So they want to have the option to push in round 2. Counters at 8 on the boost, right? It's kind of bad. Okay, so I have 2 of these technically. We probably ditch 1. We kind of need some coin, but this is pretty slow. Maybe it's a bit faster when we use it like this. Yeah, I think we keep something like this. It's enough to like fight the round, but maybe not overcommit the round. We still have some stuff left. It sucks that we don't have the Furco we're looking for. So maybe it's hard to say if it's a siege hybrid or not. So that needs a response right away. I'll play on melee just in case. Just go ahead and find one of them here. Something tells me they're going to be going for it anyways. And I think we try to respect. Yeah, let's just keep that card advantage for now. Muzzle is kind of bad. Fallen Knight would have been maybe more points. Hard to say. I'm just playing on melee for a little bit longer just so we can find out what's going on. I probably want to go and take the horse and senior on these two just before we miss the opportunity here. We have the coin. It's comfortable. Yes, they're going for the big boost, right? Yeah. They think 2-0. It's possible though, right? But what's nice about the boost is that if they don't spread it too well, we can just take Morales on something. We still have to deal with all the alumni later though, that's the problem. So how bad is Rafford's? If I hit it twice, it's not enough. I think we have to go in and look for something to take it out. That works quite well. So we have the disarray being like the best bet. I think we need to try and snipe it. There we go. I'm thinking about possibly going back to the previous version where I don't have the Morales and I put the Junior instead. But it's one of those things where sometimes I want it. Because you look at situations like this, they have 13 plus points in one card. It's kind of big. And it's a little bit of a, like the wild card, you know what I mean? Okay, so we could probably just go... Well, we need to have coin here. We don't need the coin, we just need to have Firesworn on the row. They're doing quite well, so they're going to get the boost for 11. Students on the front row are warmed up too. Yeah, it's probably just something like that. So I think we should get out of this with the card advantage. It's hard to say. Like, they bring this back, maybe they take Zeal on something, but it's only 2. They just build it up for a bigger round 3, okay. We could probably split our points pretty wide though in round 3. I'm thinking Halvid. If we could pull that, maybe that, like we'd be pretty decent. That's not a lot. We just gotta find the points. I think we hold on to Halvid and we do it with the cleric. Yeah, so let's have a look here. And it just takes a few, right? Okay. We'll see how the short round 3 goes. Kind of nervous about it. Smuggles are pretty bad here. It's a bit better. We definitely want Jacques or XCOM. Like, it's one of the two. I don't think this is the win. Oh, yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, maybe we play a little bit less interactive, play something like this early, not give them a target to remove. I think we can maybe just get as many coins as we can, play Helvete Click kind of thing. They're just gonna put up like 50 points in 3 turns. Yeah. More. See, this is where Marillis would have been kind of nice, right? We're just one shy there. So pretty much whatever we do now, we're in trouble. See, if I had Marillis here, it was a win. Kinda, right? Not necessarily. It would just be minus 28 points. So there you have it. Just too much, like, too wild with Letitia in the back row. Alright, so we'll try one more game with version number 1, and then we'll switch over to version number 2 and see if there's a real big difference with it. We have Syndicate off the books up next. So we need some bronze cards to cycle out. We have the one here, which is alright. Actually don't mind just putting that back. That's kind of nice. Is it Helvete that goes? Possibly for now. I want a hand that we could play pretty well. Like all the way down if we need to. I wonder if Transform actually does anything about it. It's not really worth the bounty, like the bounty though. It's just 1 point, 1 coin. That's what we'll do here though. Just play something like that. So I'm thinking that this is going to be like, I'm starting to see a trend here, right? This could just be full on witch hunter type thing, you know? So I want to flip this plus a token, but I'm worried about them just removing them. I think we just play something like that for now. I would imagine that there's quite a bit though that would give bounty in the hand. I'm just trying to decide here. Do we take the last points or do we wait? Getting rid of that would be a big deal though. It just takes a bit of time.
Sewers remind me of the fjords back home.
Kind of worried about flipping them at this point and they pass on me here, so that's also something. Maybe we just take away the spender for now.
Good luck. Not too much, eh?
I think Hammelfart's a bit too big of a commitment. Maybe something like Smuggle. Just keep them in the round. They have like a really good spot for tributes here and a really good spot to play like a Jackal. So pretty cost effective points if they go about it that way. I think at this point we have to flip these. This is probably where we get the pass we're looking for though. If not, we're in really good shape because we got the 3 engines out on the board and they have nothing. So yeah, that could just be a losing condition for them. We just take the D's, don't we? Now the hand's not bad, but I think long round's probably our forte, right? What's nice that they can't give the Veil bounty. Got 6. I feel like it would be wrong not to push a little bit just because we have the means to push. We have these, we could take them back later with the Hammelfart, so it's like a little bit of setup here.
The object of dark desire.
Trading wisdom. Eternal fire, protect us.
They just have an answer to both. At least we're trading quite well. We got 2 high provision cards in exchange, right? I just wonder if maybe we go... Do we take it here? Yeah, they don't have a lot of coins. Thinking if we could save Jacques for short round 3, that might be better. Maybe go take one of these back. And it always trades up, so yeah.
Faithful to the flaming rose.
I think that's fine. If anything, it's helping us out a little bit here. If they take out one of these, take out one of these. Yeah, that's not all bad. I kind of like the trades that we're getting, so I'm going to go ahead and take everything here.
By denying penance, you confirm your guilt.
I think that this is probably the most efficient spender now. Good 20-point lead.
You should confess all in due course.
Now, if there's Savola, it's a problem. Otherwise, we're doing okay. We have the death blow with it here.
This is a knife.
Again, it really comes down to what they drew. And we have like quite a bit of stuff left for round 3 too. You know what I mean? Short round with something like this. But that's probably the Savola. Yeah.
I want to see corpses. Corpses everywhere.
So they do go all in on the leader, which is like, yeah. 2 points, okay. Good pulls here. That's almost like the best that we're gonna get, I think. We take this, we play this, we play this. I'm just worried about Freak Show at this point. If they have that, then it's not really good for us. It's kind of a wasted turn. Siggy's also bad. Siggy Freak Show. Okay, we're not doing too bad here.
The fire cannot burn without the proper fuel.
Some things can't ever be forgiven.
So they missed the spender.
The amulet. Yes, you. Have you made your offering?
If they can beat, yeah.
Brother
So 2 points. Alright, so we're going to be moving on to the number 2 version of the deck. Very slight differences, right? Muriel's comes out. Junior comes in. We've got Double Disciple. Very small changes. We took out the thin package and we put like a one-off payday. It's kind of the idea. Maybe it's a little bit more control that we need. So we probably can go and take away one of these. And one of those. We have a couple smuggles, so I don't mind. So I think the strategy for this matchup is supposed to be just coming out aggressive here and trying to just get that round built up so that we can take it. So it's one of those things where we probably lose this, but we have to play it. And that's kind of an issue that I'm finding with the deck, is that a lot of the points come from the Fallen Knights, and it's about keeping them alive, right? When they sit at 4, it's very vulnerable for like a joust or something like that. If we're going and spending leader charges early, it's a little bit overpriced. So fortunately we can go and we could take Congregation here or something and just fix it up a little bit, right? We definitely want to get more units on the board and just boost that up so it's safe. And then we're looking at probably getting the Eternal Fire Disciple down, playing in around Smuggles, just getting that engine every turn, and then we maybe get this down soon. Yeah, it's kind of a problem. Maybe they have that Joust we're talking about. Could be like a Menno into Joust. No. They try and roll. We got lucky. We got super lucky here. 23. I think if I put down something like the Sacred Flame, it's a little bit too expensive, right? Here. They probably coup it at the end of the day. It's kind of a big lead. You take some of that away here with this. And I'm not going to go too crazy. I don't think we put anything else on the back row. I start filling the front. So we just need 11 points. Smuggles are really good for that. Now, I think I do respect the fact that they're going to be top decking really well. We go into round 2 not having spent a single gold card, right? And then we just try and cram everything as quick as possible. I think long round 3 is really bad for us because they fill the board quite well. So we'll see how well we can trade here. Ultimately, this is a little bit slow. This is kind of nice. Maybe it's the payday that goes. Okay. Missed a lot here. Like, we missed so much. I just don't want them to take the Jock and then use that later. Maybe we just start with something like this. So far, I don't think they gave anything spying, right? So, what I'm a little bit concerned about with this deck compared to the previous one is the consistency, right? Because we have less thinning. This is bad. That's so bad. It could just be this, but that feels overpriced. I think it has to be, because think of all the cards that they're going to be spawning throughout the round, right? We can wait because we could spend some coins first. I'd rather use Insanity.
Do I enjoy torture? Perhaps. A bit.
So they probably go coup that. You know what it is? It's I think it's Jock here. Because I think we actually could XCOM that before they coup it, but they might coup it. That's not a big deal. I think we just roll. That's actually a perfect roll here. Ulrich is not bad either.
We're but a handful who still wear the colours. Hallowed flame, light our way through ignorance and superstition.
We know they have all their good cards. I'm just kind of looking forward to seeing them. So Bralins, it's like a good pull for them.
My duty? To stick my nose where it doesn't belong.
What's nice is that we do have a death blow, so we could boost some of the spying units as well. Kind of helps the swarm faster. And we'll probably split up the points a little bit here, I think. Whoops. Just in case. By 15 is not a lot. I think we have 2 turns left, really. We could play 1 and 2. I don't think we play 3. Watch them get the best card. Watch them get Hemmelfart. Oh my gosh. We called it, right?
Yes, you! Have you made your offering? The fire cannot burn without the proper fuel. Smash your pocket, roots!
So the issue is that if they take leader early, then they're going to be pulling into the Dizure, which they can actually play here and get the death blow. So it's kind of a big deal. I'm hoping that they just don't. They probably think that the 2 cards ahead is more than enough.
Everyone has their secrets. Everyone.
It's just a bad spot to be in.
Yes, you! Have you made
I think our best option at getting out of the round with seeing something at least is going to be if we just go kind of more or less all in with this here. We have the Duchess. Did they spend the coup? Yeah, they spent the coup. So death blow is not bad. But other than that, there's no more. It's really the same thing. So hopefully that's enough of a gap to really just get maybe 2 cards. 2 cards plus leader. Yeah, it's not enough. So they go flip these here, spend their coins, they take truffle, the assimilate procs. Like at best we get one more card, right? They're gonna go Terra Nova into something. And then just start round 3 with our best card. It's not worth it. Seeing Muzzle's nice, but Terra Nova is going to be pulling, I guess, be a junior, wouldn't it? That's too slow. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, so I think if anything, this goes back, and this goes back. If I don't let them get any coin, then maybe they can't benefit from this any more than they already have. Let's try. So it's probably just take that here, right? We're not going to get a huge payoff from the Fallen Knights just simply because we get the Intimidate too. But that's really all about it. This is just acting as a spender at this point. Take probably the Cleric as well. Okay, that's actually good. That's really not a big deal. A little bit of a slow turn, but we do get spying on the absolute worst target. Good thing it was Q first. I don't really want to boost anything just yet. Here. We'll take out this one here. We'll bring back something like that. That's the best we're going to get. Hopefully they play. So they're waiting on it. Because the thing is, when we go and boost this up, they're going to kill it. And there's not really a way around it, right? Unless we Furco into an XCOM. Okay, we might have to try something like unorthodox here, like a little bit different. Wait. I think I missed something. Oh, I was looking at Graveyard. Oh my gosh. That's fine. Either way, it's inevitable. It had to be a crime. That would have been the play regardless. They take out the 6. Clearly, yeah. That's just the way it goes. Alright, so I'm pretty resilient. Let's keep it going here. We got game number 5. We gotta get some wins with this deck, man. It's not a bad deck. Like, everything makes sense. It's just maybe not the best time. If I ditch Halfart, we're gonna want it later. If I don't, then we might need to play down this round. I think we can live with... We'll tuck that back. This might be too expensive though. Yeah. I don't mind, because if it is what I think it is, being like a Saskia combo, or maybe it's not. I guess we'll just have to see. I have a hard time believing it's like an elf swarm deck, but Harmony is a possibility, right? We have the tag. We'll just play it like any other game, I guess. Kind of want to float that as bait, because if we do take Hemmelfart, it's actually a really high tempo play. And maybe it's not all bad. Like if they use leader charges or something like that, it's pretty good for us. Otherwise, making a bomb is really bad. That's what they're gonna do. Okay. So all elves so far. Here. I'm willing to try, because I have no idea what we're playing against. That's pretty much it. So now they have to answer both of them in one turn, which might provoke leader, right? Otherwise it gets kind of nasty. So they got... Okay. It's looking like it's got to be some kind of harmony thing. They're sequencing in such a way. So we don't have a second one. That's fine. Do we ever just lay down the framework here? Let's chop them. They use the leader charge, we'll use the leader charge. I just want to see how far we could take this because I'm tired of losing. Okay. That's not all bad. So I think the real play here is to go and flip these. Because then we can sort of just slow down a little bit, play some of our specials. So is it dwarves? Dwarves and elves. Now we got to be mindful of like Brewer and the big resilience play. Did we really fall that low? I don't mind taking a Finn here. Maybe if it's even grabbing like a special. Actually, that's kind of tempting. Just throw that out there for... Yeah, that should just keep us ahead. I'm trying to decide if winning on even's the play. Or trying to be the play. Do they use one? Yeah, they do. Maybe stop this one engine. I don't feel too bad about that. Luckily, we got pretty good hits with that. We didn't hit the Olgerd or this. Maybe we start spawning some things here soon. This. I'd say we got some pretty good provisions though. We got 7, was this 12 here, and then we got the 9, I believe, 10. We went in with 8. A couple 6s. So it's looking row punish to me, right? Yeah, there's nothing we'd really want to even take back at this point, but there might be. No, we're good. Okay. So, depending on how we top deck, we go for it. We got the full leader out of the way, so I'm feeling pretty good at this point. If I could pull like 1, 2, and 3, then makes my day. Yeah, I'm actually 2 for 3. That's really surprising. Here, we'll put this back. I think we don't value the payday as much here. Let's just go for it.
Perhaps a different degree. An active one.
Sabretooth. You know, there's actually a line where we split the rows up a little bit. Maybe something like that. Gotta play around row punish. We can get some pretty good trades. There we go. Next turn we can kill that off. I think for now we honestly just play a card. Go for the pass here. I think it's 2-0. Thankfully. That's not enough to stop me, I don't think. Oh, finally. Alright, so we got one more game for today, I think. And this is going to be Precision Strike, Scoia'tael. So we got to be mindful of the fact that some of these things might get removed, right? This feels like an overcommitment in round 1, I think. Playing these is not bad, because once we establish them, we can pull them back later. So maybe it's just time to go and make a bunch of copies of that. We haven't really got to play that the way I wanted to today. And I think Furco can pull into the disarray. And maybe we save this for later on, because I feel like when we set that up, it's a little bit expensive early on, so it's easy for them to pass on it, especially when we're on blue coin. That's huge. We got muzzled, guys. Let's try again. If you guys are interested in playing like a low or no unit Scoia'tael deck, I put out one 2 days ago. I believe that they're probably bluffing this here.
We must banish her. I see no other paths.
Of course. So I think we're losing uneven. Let's try again. Okay, so maybe they actually are orbs instead,
The blood of elves.
which could get quite nasty here. Keeping that in mind, we'll just take it. I wonder if we ever... It feels kind of like we're cheating ourselves if we don't play. So we'll go ahead and click it. The coin carryover is not as valuable as other Syndicate decks. We'll get all the points here. Holy. Can we even get it in 2? Not really. So we can just go past there. At least it's not orbs. So I definitely don't want to have 2 of these. This is bugged. It should be premium. There we go. Actually, probably ditch them both. That's not a huge deal. At least we have 1 we can bring back. I want to say we start slow here. Probably something like this. Set up the graveyard for the Hemmelfart round 3. If we can get there, right? They might just try and waste our cards. But luckily we have enough bronzes that we could stay competitive here.
Why should I, an elf, a
So
slave,
it's single bountiful.
with an ape?
There's an option maybe that they don't have orbs.
I'm so tired.
So 10 and 6. We kind of have to play something a bit better. I think it's probably this, right? It'd be unfortunate if they pass on it, but at the end of the day, it keeps us ahead, whereas like a smuggle doesn't. But now we have more things to flip for the cleric. Defender, eh? I feel like some kind of Francesca or Alzar's coming down soon. Even if I was to go into this, it doesn't help us with the defender situation. And I think Kurt is too expensive as a defender, like a Purify in this deck. 19 and 11. So we have to keep respecting that tempo, really.
Now this is a knife. The fire cannot burn without the proper fuel.
Yep. Hopefully it's just something that's not very good. We take this here. Take the 3 while we can. If their goal is to do damage, we're doing alright. That puts us in an awkward spot here.
By denying penance, you confirm your guilt.
I'm not going to spend just yet. Got to be frugal. But I think they do play regardless. Imagine they were running Lacerate.
Bow to your half-assed, self-proclaimed authority.
Yeah, so here we could take the spend.
Scoia'tael.
The nice part about it too is that we can go, we just fill the row. So double Umas. That's a big turn. Okay. Man, good rolls too. Obviously the Quen's not great, right? So I think it's going to be this.
Have you made your offering? You are worthy neither of mercy nor forgiveness.
And we kind of have to click a couple things. Yeah, we gotta respect it.
Made your offering.
So that's not bad. Okay, we got Francesca out of the way, Muzzle out of the way, Defender out of the way, Simlas gone, Alls are gone. Uma's gone. We just need to pull this. I think Payday's kind of slow. Okay. I suppose that's the play if we're sequencing right. I don't know if we ever take the flip unless something's damaged. Maybe we just play it for points like a 6-point engine. We kind of just want that and not really worry about the rest. Okay. Look at 3, play 1. I'm feeling pretty good here. Yeah, let's take this. So we got the tribute amount here, which I think is probably worth it on these two. Of course, now we want the Payday, we don't have it.
The child's scars are broken. Like to see what's beyond the back, eh? You sure?
3 into a 4 for 2. I don't think that's worth it. Luckily we have so many specials now that it's just really good. Okay. Alright, I think we can win this game. So we're probably just, yeah, we're taking that every time. We just play for the most damage. Probably go actually for this now. Okay. Alright, that was actually a tough game, but we made it happen. I want to know what the doo-doo's for. There we go. I think it's Gourd last. No, Heatwave. Yeah, we're good.